terms of, excuse me on that one, Seahawks matchup, man, a couple of strengths that I have, man, when I'm looking at the Seahawks team. I started out with Geno. I think he has a big arm, and he is their leader. You see how the team plays when he's out there, man. It's just cool, calm, and collected. They reflect Geno. Geno is a smooth cat, man. And like I said, man, since he's taken over, it's a reason why they've been a lot more consistent offensively. There's a reason why they even paid him this offseason as well, man. So, when you talk about a quarterback being able to stretch the grass and having the weapons out there, because they are very talented at receiver, that's a big part of it. So, like I said, man, for the strengths, I started with Geno's big arm. Couple other things that kind of jumped out. We obviously know they're very talented. Like we said, the receivers, Deke and Jigba. I'm trying to think of my Lockett over there as well, man. So we know 3 very talented guys at different stages of their career with very different body types. But that's a big part of it as well, man. And then I looked at their pass rush, and I'm like, I like their guys over there, man. As a group, they're really good. You see a lot of 4.5, 3.5, mixed here, but then you obviously have their stud rusher, who is Boye Mafe, and he's, I think, is sitting at 9.5 sacks right now. But they do a good job of just sitting multiple body types, and they got them traditional big body DN types rushing. They call it their little Leo rush, but think Cliff Averill types. Them 6'4", 267, 270-pound DN, hand in the ground. Yeah, that's a different. We don't typically see them type of cats here. We usually see your Sam Hubbards, your Trey Hendricksons, long, that type. There's just a little bit different body type over there, but that's what fits their defense. And then they got a guy in terms of their leader, Pete Carroll. Very similar in terms of the respect I have for him, like I have for our Coach T, man. Doing it for a long time, man. Leader of men. And knowing dudes that have been in that locker room, multiple cats, not just TG. Multiple cats over there, man. They all have a ton of respect for how he leads those guys over there, man. So, like I said, those are some of the strengths that jumped off the screen to me, man. What you got on your end, baby?
So what I'm going to start off with on the strengths is also going to be considered a weakness as well. So it's going to count for both categories.
Yeah, I definitely get it, man.
They're just like us.
Yeah.
They are exactly like us. So
yep.
The good in that is they have a Hall of Fame coach.
Yep.
They're going to be in the mix year in, year out, as you see this year. They're 8-7. We're 8-7.
Yep.
They have a ton of talent on both sides of the ball.
Swear, Deke, you preach it.
But
Deke.
some of the weaknesses is they haven't really been able to get all that talent together.
You're preaching.
Close games. There are a lot of close games.
Yeah.
Play with a small margin of error.
Yep.
But then the positive of that is they've pulled out a lot of those by the skin of their teeth. I think Geno Smith's actually leading the league in game-winning drives. Drew Lock had the game-winning drive against the Eagles.
Yes.
What have we been doing?
Yes.
Keep it close. Fourth quarter, Kenny. We're going to come up clutch. Game-winning drive. That's what we've been doing.
Yep.
What else? They have a 3-game losing – or no, they have a 4-game losing streak this year. Yeah. We have a 3-game losing streak. They also have less points for than they do against them. But they have a winning record and are 8-7.
Yeah, they're like, how do you do that? Yep.
The thing I think we do better than the Seahawks, though, is we get takeaways at a much higher clip.
I would agree.
But they also don't really turn the ball over. That's something we've specialized in all year. So there's a plus and minus to that. They're just like they're the West Coast version of the Steelers.
Honestly, bro, you hit it right on the head, man. You hit it right on the head.
Other strengths, I'm with you on Geno Smith. I'll just say the passing game, big playability with Geno Smith and then those 3 receivers. Yeah. I checked. I don't know if this is even a real stat. It was on Google, though. But they are, I think, 8th in big play.
Oh, like the explosive
passing
20-plus yard plays. Yeah.
Is that what it is? They go off 20-plus? Yeah, I think they're 8th in the league. So that's something we got to watch out for. Last game against Bengals, we let up that slant to T. Higgins. Like you can't afford to do that in this one.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that's going to keep Seattle in these games.
Yeah.
And then final one for the strengths. I mentioned a lot. You know what? Can I just skip this last one? Because I mentioned a lot in that whole first one.
You definitely did.
I was going to say talent on defense. I like their corners. But I think that goes hand in hand with the talent for the whole team that I already mentioned.
Yeah, man. We ain't got a crown on, bro.
Yeah, we'll do that. I like their secondary. I like some of the talent they got in the secondary.
Respect, man.
Tariq Woolen, Witherspoon. Yeah. Safeties aren't bad.
Now let's talk some of their weaknesses then. Can we get at them real quick, Deke? Let's get at them real quick, all right? So for their weaknesses, first off, what we don't like, they O-line mad inconsistent with pass protection, bro. I'm looking at Charles Cross. Obviously, we know former top pick from what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. Yeah, but still hasn't developed to, be a consistent all-pro type caliber dude out there, man. And yeah, they have leaky protection, both at the tackle spots and in the interior portion of their D-line. Interior portion of their offensive line. So for me, that is definitely an area that I think we're going to have some success attacking. The next part is their run defense. They got some names. I love them names in pass rush, some of them names.
We know one of them. We're pretty familiar with one of them.
But some of them names on that defense play, oh, baby. All right, they got a dude that's been playing Sam linebacker for them these past couple of games, Deke. You familiar with him. He's changed his number. He's changed the color of his uniform. But he's still struggling with some similar stuff over there. And that's part of their issue. The other part is no different than a lot of teams in this league. They are enamored with playing some nickel defense. Problem is this: their nickel corner is Artie Burns. I like Artie in terms of his size when he's covering, but they're making him have to be in that box and tackle a lot more as the nickel corner. These are not their strong suits. That's not his strong suit. So when you look at them against the run, Bobby Wagner, he makes a good amount of plays, but he's older now. They give up a good amount on that ground, and that's one of the things that I do think when you're attacking them, man, we should be able to have success against that run defense.
It could be a great equalizer in a away game like this.
Absolutely. And then the last thing, I talked about him as a strength, Geno, big arm. He's also one of their weaknesses, man. Off-schedule plays, that's where he struggles. When it is not what it needs to be, he's not the most elusive cat in the sense of, let me get up out this pocket, step around a guy, and go. That's not his game. He will try to bail in terms of giving ground, and then big arm and get it off. But in terms of him having to improvise, that is typically where he will struggle. But the caveat is this. The same way we said last week, Jake Brown, and man, he'll take some chances, but his receivers have made him right. Geno doesn't take the same chances. But Geno has the receivers that if he does take chances, they can definitely make him right. And that's a part of it with Geno, with this team. But Geno is really smart with that football. And rightfully so. He's been a dude that's had adversity. He's lost it before. So you can see he's not going to just put it in harm's way. But you can definitely...
Especially seeing how Drew Lock played.
Absolutely. Yeah. But that's one of them things. If you can make him have to improvise, if you can make him have to do some of that off-schedules type stuff and be a playmaker at that position, that is where you will see Geno start to struggle.
I'm with you on their offensive line. I think Highsmith and TJ could cook.
Mm-hmm.
And then rush defense, yeah, that's clear too. I think that's something we're going to have to focus on this game. Because I don't want to say, what are we talking about with our quarterback situation? I was going to say we got some uncertainty with it, but not really. Like if we're going with Mason, we know who he is. We know what he offers. I think just the running game will help Mason in his second start this year.
Mm-hmm.
And first game on the road, hostile environment like this. It's only going to help. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just going to be one of those back and forth dynamics. If the run game's cooking, I think you give Mason a couple chances at some deep balls.
Yeah.
And he showed last week he can perform and make those happen.
Well, because the big thing you're trying to hunt is the one-on-one. And the running game will create the one-on-one because the running game is going to force your defense to play cover 3 or cover 1. You make them walk that extra guy in the box. But they're not going to walk the extra guy in that box if we not running. And that's when you're going to get them cover 4s, them cover 2s, them 6s. And it's just hard to get chunk plays on them type of coverages.
And then my honorable mention is the fact that Seattle has Devin Bush and Artie Burns. That's a weakness.
Now, I will say this. Of the two, shout out to my dog, Artie. Artie is definitely the better player right now,
They've kept him around.
I was going to say, shout out to Artie. Artie got hurt out there, but he's still playing right now. He's active. Like, he got hurt, I think it was last year he tore the ACL. But he's definitely, to me, he's been helping them out a little bit more than
Bush had to play these last week or two because of injuries, right?
Correct. He typically
because before that he only had 3 tackles on the year.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Miles Jack had better stats than him.
Yeah, he's typically not on defense like that. Artie is their nickel though, but they've also been banged up at the corner spot too. So that's kind of at play. But yeah, you catch my drift. Did you have any more weaknesses, or that's where you was at?
That is it.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. So I got a couple matchups we're going to talk real quick. And then after that, we're going to drop them score predictions, baby. But speaking of these matchups, man, y'all know Kenneth Walker, man. Really good player, dynamic young cat. he keeps their offense on schedule, man. When they can just give him that ball, that allows that play action pass to open up. That allows Geno to stretch the grass down the field, getting DK, Tyler Lockett, and company involved. So our inside linebackers, man, it's going to be another big week. We know we still kind of banged up. We know. But who cares? Miles Jack, you done had you another week now to practice, get acclimated. Green dot you up, right? Because I think they said no E-Rob this week, right?
He's out.
Yeah, so we know. All right, Miles is on you.
Jalen Smith get that call up.
That'll be a quick turnaround. I don't know.
Who would you rather have, him or Blake Martinez out there at this point?
Well, my only issue is the cardio part. So it's like, yes, Jalen, I think, is the better. Well, Jalen's been a better player. But when cardio comes into play, you can't tell if a dude doesn't want to play or doesn't know what he's doing when they tired because it all looks the same. It's just bad, bro. So that's my only issue with it.
I think we could be fine if Landon Roberts gets healthy. We could roll with him and Jack rest of the season.
We definitely could.
As like our main two.
And then they sprinkle in a little Michael Walker on occasion.
I think we could live with that. Minka gets healthy. KZ gets back for the playoffs.
But the thing is,
we can roll with that.
We got to see what's up
Eric
with E-Rob. I just don't know what's up with E-Rob. That's it. Now Rowe came in and did what he was supposed to do, baby. So I definitely like that, man.
Pat P showing his versatility. Get Keanu Neal back. When's he coming back? He could play some of the box linebacker stuff.
When did we put him on IR? Because he has to wait for it's like 4 games from whenever they put him on. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
But if we win these next 2 games, we might weirdly be getting healthy at the right time.
That's what it's big about, man. We got to get healthy at the right time, man. So, like I said, Kenneth Walker, though, versus our inside linebackers, we have got to stop him, man. We make that situation one-dimensional. We're going to enjoy ourselves, all right? Next matchup, though. Y'all know they got a big body receiver, DK Metcalf. Big, strong, physical, can take the top off. JPJ, you've been drafted for a reason. I love your physicality. I love how you match up with big body receivers. DK is a different animal, though. DK isn't like Devontae Adams in terms of how he runs his routes. DK Metcalf ain't like T. Higgins in terms of how he runs his route. DK gonna run his route like a big body bully over there. So for PZ Jr., you gonna have to fight through that. And yes, they are probably gonna call some calls on you. If they called more than just the one on him, I'm not tripping because of who he is playing against this week. You're gonna have to match that physicality. Otherwise, that's where DK really shines. So for me, man, I can't wait to see how the young boy steps up in this matchup on the road, but that's definitely one of them ones. Now, after that, man, we got to talk their O-line, specifically their tackles, though. Charles Clark, that's the right tackle, or excuse me, that's the left tackle. Abraham Lucas is the right tackle. Highsmith got to cook Charles. And TJ, if we saying TJ is who he is, and TJ is who he is, if you want to solidify it, you want to silence all this Micah Parsons and all this other, hey, Mose, man, why you keep... If y'all wanted to be that.
Does TJ need 10 pressures this game?
Why hasn't he had them before is what I'm saying. If he wants to make it clear, go make it clear. It ain't a me thing. It's a TJ thing. Y'all got y'all feelings on him. I just tell y'all what the other people go say. But if y'all wanted to be right, you gonna need to do something versus this type of cat right here. That's all I'm saying. And it can't just be one sack. That's all I'm saying. But y'all take that how y'all want to take it. Y'all know more than me, man. I'm just here just talking, all right? But then after that, the fourth cat we got to talk about is Boye Mafe. That's their pass rusher. That's their dude, their best guy. And damn well you going to see him because he going to want you. Got some dope speed, got good size, really good hand usage, good motor. Can't let him wreck us, man. Can't let him wreck us. All right? And then the last part is for Mason or potentially Kenny. If by some reason Coach T goes Kenny versus the Legion of Boom 2.0. And what I mean is this, man. Reek Woolen, Quadre Diggs, Devin Witherspoon, if he plays, he's questionable. I know they say he was limited yesterday with his hip. They take the ball away. Julian Love, 4 picks right now. They take the ball away. If you put this ball in harm's way, they will take the ball away. We can't have them turnovers. You know that's the name of the game. You know that's what they're going to want to do to offset some of the stuff that we do. No different than that's what we try to do to offset what they do. But they definitely got guys that are going to try to get that football, and they do a really good job of attacking the football, man. So we got to protect that rock. But those are the matchups, man, for me, man, that I'm looking at. And I'm saying, man, if we can knock them out, man, and we can win these right here, bro, we should take care of business and everything should work out how we wanted to work out for us, man.
Before we get into predictions, I'll give you a quick update on the injuries. Kenny limited. Trent Thompson full. That's
there we
good
go.
news.
Shout out to Trent. Shout out to Trent. Let's go.
Najee limited.
He's in with a knee, right?
Yeah, he'll play. He's like last year's version of Ogunjobi on
Heck yeah,
offense.
man. You know that.
Minka Fitzpatrick, DNP. Isaac Seumalo, full practice.
What was Minka yesterday?
DNP. Maybe Friday, full.
What's the need, dude? Did they ever say what he did? I just
No,
saw literally
it
Pat
looked
P
bad.
fell on him. Yeah.
I'm actually surprised, just based off the reaction of that Colts game, I'm surprised he's potentially about to come back this week.
Yeah, because they made
looked
it
bad.
seem like it was done. Yeah.
They look bad.
Yeah.
And then no updates on Seattle
Okay.
right now. At least on the Steelers side. I wonder if Seattle has
Yeah,
theirs
because
updated.
like I said, Witherspoon was the big name on their end. He was
who
limited
we want
yesterday.
out.
Yeah, if he's out, then now you're potentially seeing more of it'll be Artie and what's the let me get the other cat's name real quick.
Wolin.
No, because Willen's already gonna be out there. It'll be the Michael Jackson, Trey Brown, or even Kobe Bryant. Remember Kobe Bryant? Not
I do.
not the Kobe, but our Kobe. Yeah, he's getting burned out there too right now, man.
Yeah, I thought he was better his rookie year than this year.
Yeah. So you can see like they've had injuries like we've had. Now, granted, our injured people are better than their injured people, but then they got the best in the nation. I think they're missing the best safety in the nation, so that's part of what they're dealing with too.
All right, predictions.
Well, let's get the predictions in, baby. Let's get them in. Deke, talk to me, man. How you living on your end, baby? Do we get it done, and how do we get it done?
We do. We definitely do. I think we run this rock. I think Najee is a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Warren has his typical good game, his typical impact. And Mason plays good ball, man. I think he keeps it rolling. And it doesn't have to be 290 and 2 touchdowns. It doesn't need to be exactly how we saw it last week against Cincinnati. But as I've mentioned even with Kenny, like, you know it when you see it. You know it when you need a good game. I don't need 5 touchdowns. I don't need, the gaudy fantasy stats to know this is solid quarterback play.
Yeah.
So I think Mason gives that to us. No picks for him either. Zero picks.
Keep it clean.
Yeah, something in the range of 200-ish. He gets maybe 1 or 2 passing touchdowns. But the offense moves. I think the offense is going to be consistent. I don't think Seahawks defense is anything to write home about. You will be able to run the ball on them. And if we are running it successfully, I think there's a deep shot or 2 in there for Mason.
Yeah.
Mason to Pickens. Maybe that hits again, or Pickens to Rudolph.
All right.
And defense, we battle. I think it's bend but don't break. I think you got to keep a lid on it here and lock in on the red zone. Make Seattle consistently execute down the field, because that's something that hasn't been given for them this year. Well, that hasn't been a given.
They also struggle in the red zone too. When that field gets condensed, they lose that
Don't
explosive
give up the
element.
big play.
Yep.
Do not give up the big play. And honestly, like, I think it makes sense to play that way. Just play like a zone, almost like we did last week. Because obviously we may not have the personnel for it. But even if we do get Minka back, bro, like with the Seattle receivers, it might just be better for us to go zone. Have JP like kind of shadow DK, but I don't know, dude. I don't know if I like Pat P and Levi Wallace manning up on Lockett or Njigba.
Because that's the whole issue this week. If you bastardize the coverage for JPJ to stay with DK, you're for certain going to get Lockett or Njigba on 2-9 and 34 Sullivan, because they're going to put Pat P at the post.
We'll have him back at safety. But even if Minka comes back and we put Pat P back to normal corner, I don't know if I like that either.
Yeah. But I low-key think they would keep Pat P at safety and just bring Minka out, have Pat P and Minka, and then take Eric off. Okay. I think they'll use him as like the third safety type cat, because they wouldn't want to have him out there full time and not have Pat P out. You know what I mean? Having to come on and off.
They like Pat P at safety.
Yeah. Well, to me, I think this is why Pat P has been playing so much better.
Pat P Steeler till he's 40, maybe.
Yeah,
Charles Woodson.
like he's been played a lot better as a safety, because at corner, when you lose a step,
it shows
a lot more. Yeah, it shows up a lot more. Whereas he's shown that he can tackle now, or at least the willingness to do it. He don't look like it's going to hurt anymore when he's making tackles, which is important. Like I said, this offseason, if you really commit to it, you go ahead and add you a little bit more muscle on you. Bulk just a little, not crazy, just about 2.5, 5 pounds. Just, you know what I mean? Just a little cushion. And that could be the difference for him, man. Because everything else he's elite at as a safety. From a coverage perspective, his disguise game, like, that's the beauty of when you get high-end corners that have the size and are willing to actually tackle, you move him to safety, bro. I mean, for him, he waited to the end.
He's got good safety speed, or at least good enough safety speed right now.
Bro, think about it. A slow corner is still elite speed safety. Slow corner is 4.4. 4.4 is safety. You like, bro, he's rolling. Most safeties 4.4, 4.5. Shoot, you might even get a 4.6 out there. Being real.
Pat Peter an extension.
Yeah. Corner though, you gotta be on them 4.2s, them 4.3s. You see all them cats running down the yard, man. Look at DK, look at Tyreek Hill, man. I'm like, bro, that's a speed game out there, man.
Boz gets an opportunity or two.
Mm-hmm.
We don't punt, and he makes them. 23-17.
23-17?
That's the score I came up with yesterday.
Hey,
I'm sticking with that. 23-17.
We ain't far off. I got us 24-20, man. I think that we do take care of business, man. But it's gonna be us leaning on that run game. But Mason will have to prove that he can make the big time throw. If I'm the D coordinator of the Seahawks, I have to see him do it again in terms of consistently throw that deep bomb. Because I'm saying, as Seattle, we tackle better in the secondary. We're not gonna let a slant, with 4 guys in close proximity, you're not about to go 80 on me out of it. I'm going to make that tackle. I want to see you have to keep snapping this ball. That's what I want to see. So, yeah, I think they are going to try to, play tough like that. And I think for us, the difference is this. Our pass rush, we went up front, and that's been our flavor all season. We saw it firsthand last week. When we got after Jake Browning, he struggled, looked god-awful at times. When he had some time to extend, that was when he was able to hurt us a little bit. These receivers, they didn't have Jamar Chase last week. So you can make a case that this group is a better group than what we saw last week because it's just 3 of them, whereas last week it was just Higgins and Boyd. But I think Geno is the better quarterback than Jake Browning. So, like I said, they're going to have some success. But to me, at the end of the day, man, our pass rush is the great equalizer, and that's how we get up out of this thing, and we for certain will have a turnover. So that's how I got it 24-20, and we definitely take care of business, man.